Hi, I'm Jake. Welcome to Jake's Beer Roulette. Welcome to Crafty Devils Going for Gold Double Dry Hot Hazy IPA. I started filming a review of this, and it kind of like went off on a bit of a tangent, and I thought I'd better do the tangent as opposed to just reviewing a beer, to be honest, because the beer's outstanding. It's what Crafty Devil do. It's 6.5%. I got this from a delicatessen in the middle of Cardiff called Wally's, and you can also go and buy Crafty Devil in their uh, bar in Canton, where I frequent, having gone to see Cardiff City. Or you can get them online. They have a website, and the tangent I was going off on is the kind of like state of pubs in this country. There's a lot of negativity about it, pubs closing down. Um, and I get it, pubs closing down is not a good thing. But in terms of which pubs are closing down, well, they're pubs that have been taken over generally these days by huge breweries. If you look at like Brains in Cardiff, for example, they were taken over by, I think it's Marston's, and they've absolutely decimated Brains beer. It is absolutely appalling stuff these days. You cannot get a good pint of Brains beer in a Brains pub. And I challenge any of you to send me to a Brains pub and have a decent pint of their own beer, because whenever I have over the last few years, it's been absolutely revolting. It's been hideous. And that's not a fault of the pub or the landlord. It's a fault of the product that they're selling. And this is why those types of pubs are dying on their feet, because pubs like Crafty Devil have opened in Canton, and they've had some really tough times. They put out a crowdfunding request. They actually started up through a crowdfunder, which I fortunately contributed to, and I get a kind of like a little discount now for life. But they had an issue around about 2 years ago. They put a crowdfunder again. They were saved. And it's a shame when these little breweries have to do that, but people are giving them a leg up. People recognise and are buying into the idea of what these small breweries represent and what they mean to us. Whereas big pubs, iconic pubs in Cardiff have gone, but that's as a result that the breweries have run them down into the ground with shoddy beer, shocking beer for the price, when you can go and get something as good as Going for Gold for around about £6 a pint. Um, you can go into a Brains pub, sorry to bring him up again, and get like a pint of Reverend James, which used to be stunning beer. It was amazing. Now it's not even a shadow. It's disgusting. For a similar price as this, then where are you going to go? What are you going to buy? Also, the smaller pubs tend to be more inventive. They're more comfortable. They put on kind of like events that are close to the community. There's a tap room down in Whitchurch that does quiz nights, things like that, and only has to open or only chooses to open 4 or 5 nights a week. You know, big pubs, you go in there these days and they are of their time. There's less and less of them, and there's less and less of them for a reason. It's not because people have stopped drinking, people are giving up drinking, people are giving up on their lifestyle. It's because the lifestyle that we adore from drinking is no longer in these pubs, where they're selling you absolute crap and the atmosphere is terrible. Um, they're staffed by people who don't care about the pub because they're paid nothing and treated like garbage. Whereas in tap rooms, in smaller pubs, in independent pubs, they treat people with the respect that they deserve, because they need to keep hold of your custom to survive. So let's tell it how it is here. It's not down to people giving up on the City Arms in Cardiff, for example. I used to love the City Arms, and I wanted to succeed. I really do. I think it's a terrific place. It's got, you know, the guy who's running at the moment is someone that I know from many years ago back in Llandaff. His family used to have a pub there. So it's not down to him. It's down to the fact that he's got to sell absolutely rancid, mass-produced shite. Frankly, is shite. Whereas just around the corner, you've got Mad Dog Brewery, which is opposite Cardiff Castle, which is similar to Crafty Devil. It's actually got the brewery is on site. It's in the back, and if you go in there and you ask a guy called Tim for a quick look round, he's let us in a few times to have a look at how the beer's made, and then they sell it out the front, and it's glorious. The choice, the different flavors, the quality, and so with the year coming to an end, I think that's my take on it. Is that great beer is out there, great pubs are out there, but the pubs themselves and the people that are running them are deciding what's right for their customers, not some giant corporation that is mass producing shit beer that's forcing it on you, you know? Places like Cardiff, that isn't working. It's not working. It might work in kind of like McDonald's, but it doesn't work in old school pubs, you know? The other thing is that you've got like those mega pubs these days that are sweeping up the people who are happy drinking Fosters. So unless these iconic old school pubs adapt, they're not gonna survive. It's as simple as that. I won't go in them. If I've got a choice, I am not going there. I'm not paying my money on that. You know, as much as I like the City Arms, I like places like the Old Arcade, which does seem to be doing well. Um, when the option two doors down is of much better quality and a better vibe, sorry, that's where I'm going. But here's to Crafty Devil, and long may they rule the roost in Canton, because that little pub is fantastic. It's become part of the furniture in a very short space of time. I hope it stays part of the furniture for many, ooh, blimey, for many years to come. Here's your good health.